"Can I change my fate?" he asked, his voice filled with a mix of desperation and hope. Sani's eyes glowed softly in the darkness. "Fate is a river, Basi. It flows in many directions." Welcome back, dear friends, to our captivating story of Basi's journey through magic and mystery. If you're just joining us, now is a perfect time to dive in. Our story began with an unexpected encounter in the heart of the forest. Basi, a young man burdened with the troubles of his village and the illness of his mother, stumbled upon Sani, a mysterious and powerful serpent with shimmering golden scales. Sani made Basi a tempting offer: gold that could save his mother and bring prosperity to his village, but at a cost. Each piece of gold would take years from Basi's life, aging him rapidly. Desperate to help his loved ones, Basi agreed to the serpent's deal, accepting the gold and watching his youth slip away with each passing day. Now, older and filled with regret, Basi finds himself yearning not only to reclaim his lost years, but to find love and carve out a life of his own. With Sani still at his side and the forest full of secrets, Basi's path is fraught with unexpected twists and turns. What lies ahead for Basi? Can he find a way to regain his lost youth and discover the love he's never known? Or will the consequences of his choices lead him down a path he cannot return from? Stay with us as we continue this thrilling journey, filled with surprises and mysteries at every turn. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a moment of this unforgettable adventure. Basi awoke to the soft light of dawn filtering through the cracks of his hut. The village of Moyo was slowly coming to life, with the sounds of morning routines echoing in the air. He sat up on his mat, his mind filled with the memories of the realm of forgotten dreams and the choices he had made there. He touched his chest, feeling the steady rhythm of his heartbeat. A reminder that he was still alive, still here, still capable of change. He glanced over at his mother, Amara, now the same age as him, who was busy preparing their morning meal. She turned to him with a gentle smile. "Good morning, Basi. You look lost in thought," she observed. Basi nodded, his face reflecting his inner turmoil. "I have been thinking, Mother," he replied, "about the life I could have had, the life I still want. I have spent so much time trying to save others, but what about my own happiness?" Amara walked over, placing a comforting hand on his shoulder. "You deserve to be happy, Basi," she said softly. "You have given so much. It's time you think about yourself for once." Basi sighed deeply, his eyes filled with determination. "I want to find love, Mother. I want to build a life for myself. But I fear that the choices I've made have put me too far from that path." Amara squeezed his shoulder reassuringly. "It's never too late, my son," she whispered. "Your heart is still young, even if time has taken its toll." Basi nodded, feeling a spark of hope ignite within him. But just as he was about to speak, he heard a familiar hiss from outside the hut. His heart skipped a beat. "Sani," he muttered under his breath. He stepped outside, finding the serpent coiled under a large tree, its golden scales glistening in the morning sun. "Basi," Sani hissed softly. "You seek a new path, but the road ahead is fraught with challenges. Are you ready to face them?" Basi stared at the serpent, his resolve firm. "I am ready," he replied. "I will do whatever it takes to find my place in this world." Sani watched Basi with its piercing eyes, its presence both calming and intimidating. "Your heart longs for love and a life of your own," the serpent began. "But to achieve this, you must be willing to face the truth of who you are and what you desire most." Basi frowned, confusion etched on his face. "What do you mean, Sani?" he asked. "I thought I had already faced my past. I've learned from my mistakes." The serpent coiled tighter around the tree trunk, its eyes narrowing. "The realm of forgotten dreams showed you possibilities, but it did not reveal your true heart," Sani explained. "To find love in your world, you must confront the deepest desires and fears within yourself. Only then will you be free to live the life you seek." Basi felt a knot tighten in his stomach. He had thought the hardest part was over, but now he realized that his journey was only beginning. "And how do I do that?" he asked, his voice tinged with anxiety. Sani's tongue flicked in and out as it spoke. "There is a place deeper in the forest where the spirit of truth resides. It is said that those who dare to enter its domain will face the true reflection of their soul. Many have entered, but few have emerged unchanged." Basi's heart pounded in his chest. The idea of facing his deepest truths was terrifying, but he knew it was the only way forward. "Take me there," he said firmly. "I am ready to face whatever lies ahead." The serpent's eyes gleamed with approval. "Very well, Basi. Follow me, and prepare yourself for what is to come." As Sani slithered deeper into the forest, Basi followed closely behind, his mind racing with thoughts of what he might find. He had faced many challenges, but this felt different, more personal, more real. He had no idea what truths would be revealed to him, but he was determined to face them head on. The trees grew denser and taller as Basi and Sani ventured deeper into the forest. The air grew thick with a sense of anticipation, and the sounds of the village faded into a distant memory. Basi's heart beat faster with every step, his mind swirling with questions and doubts. "Where are we going, Sani?" he asked, his voice barely more than a whisper. "To the forest of truth," Sani replied, its voice low and reverent. "This is a place where the bravest souls come to confront their true selves. It is a place of great power and even greater danger." Basi swallowed hard, feeling a chill run down his spine. "What will I find there?" he asked, his voice shaking slightly. Sani paused, turning to face him. "You will find yourself, Basi. The person you are, the person you have been, and the person you could become. Only by confronting these truths can you hope to move forward." Basi nodded, steeling himself for whatever lay ahead. As they continued deeper into the forest, he began to feel a strange sensation in the air, a tingling, almost electric feeling that seemed to wrap around him like a cloak. Suddenly, they arrived at a clearing. In the centre stood a massive tree with twisted roots that seemed to reach out like fingers. The air around it shimmered with a strange, otherworldly energy. "This is it," Sani hissed softly, "the entrance to the forest of truth. Are you ready, Basi?" Basi took a deep breath, his heart racing. "Yes," he replied. "I am ready." He stepped forward, and as he did, the world around him seemed to shift. The trees blurred and twisted, and the ground seemed to melt away beneath his feet. He felt himself falling, spiraling into a void of darkness and light. Then, just as suddenly, he was standing in a small, dimly lit room. In front of him was a mirror, its surface smooth and reflective. Basi took a step closer, his heart pounding in his chest. He could see his own reflection staring back at him, but there was something different about it, something unsettling. As he stared into the mirror, his reflection began to change. His face grew younger, his eyes brighter, his smile wider. It was the face of a younger Basi, a Basi who had not yet faced the trials of the Serpent's curse, who had not yet aged so rapidly. A Basi full of hope and ambition. Basi felt a lump form in his throat. "Is this who I was meant to be?" he whispered, his voice filled with a mix of wonder and sorrow. The mirror image continued to change, shifting from one version of Basi to another. He saw himself as a child, running freely through the fields of Moyo, his laughter echoing in the air. He saw himself as a young man, filled with dreams and aspirations, before the weight of responsibility and the curse of the serpent had aged him beyond his years. Basi felt a pang of sorrow as he watched the younger versions of himself. "So much time lost," he murmured. "So many dreams left unfulfilled." The reflection shifted again, this time showing an older Basi, even older than he was now. His face was lined with worry and regret, his eyes dimmed by years of hardship. Basi's heart ached at the sight. "Is this my future?" he asked, his voice trembling. "Is this what lies ahead for me?" Sani's voice echoed softly in the dimly lit room. "The mirror shows many possibilities, Basi," it said, "but it is up to you to choose your path. The choices you make now will shape the person you become." Basi turned away from the mirror, his mind swirling with emotions. He had spent so much of his life focused on others, on his mother, on his village. He had never allowed himself to truly dream of a life of his own, to imagine what could be if he followed his heart. "Can I change my fate?" he asked, his voice filled with a mix of desperation and hope. Sani's eyes glowed softly in the darkness. "Fate is a river, Basi. It flows in many directions. You have the power to guide its course, but you must be willing to look within and embrace your true desires," Sani replied, its voice a soothing yet mysterious whisper in the dimly lit room. Basi stared at his older reflection in the mirror, his mind racing with thoughts of what could have been and what still might be. He had always believed that his choices were made out of necessity, out of a duty to his mother and his village. But what if he had been denying himself a deeper truth, a chance at a life he truly wanted? The reflection changed once more, this time showing an image of Basi standing beside a woman, Ada, the woman he had met in the realm of forgotten dreams. In the mirror, their faces were filled with joy and contentment as they stood together, their hands intertwined, gazing lovingly at each other. Basi's heart swelled at the sight. Was this the love he had been seeking? The life he had always longed for, but never dared to pursue? He reached out, touching the cold surface of the mirror, feeling a deep yearning within him. "Is this what I truly want?" he whispered to himself. Sani's voice broke through his thoughts. "You must decide, Basi. The truth lies within your heart. Are you ready to embrace it, to seek out the love you have always desired, even if it means facing your deepest fears?" Basi took a deep breath, his eyes never leaving the reflection of him and Ada. He felt a surge of determination wash over him. "I am ready," he said firmly. "I am ready to find my own path, to seek the love I have longed for." With those words, the mirror's surface rippled like water, and a bright light enveloped him, pulling him into its depths. Basi felt himself being pulled deeper into the mirror's reflection, the light blinding yet strangely comforting. When the light faded, he found himself standing in a vast expanse, a place that seemed to stretch infinitely in every direction. The ground beneath his feet was solid, but the air around him shimmered with a surreal quality, as if he were standing in the middle of a dream. Ahead of him stood Ada, her dark, flowing hair cascading over her shoulders, her eyes filled with warmth and understanding. "You have come, Basi," she said softly, a gentle smile playing on her lips. "You have come to seek the truth within your heart." Basi nodded, his chest tightening with a mixture of fear and hope. I have, he replied. I want to know what my heart truly desires. I want to find love, to build a life of my own. Ada took a step closer, her presence calming yet powerful. To find love, Basi, you must be willing to let go of the past and embrace the future. You must be willing to open your heart, to risk everything for the chance of something beautiful. Basi swallowed hard, his mind racing with the possibilities. He had faced so many dangers, so many trials, but this felt different, more personal, more real. How do I do that? He asked, his voice filled with uncertainty. Ada reached out, her hand gently touching his. By being true to yourself, she whispered. By following your heart, no matter where it leads. Basi nodded, feeling a surge of courage. Then, I will, he said firmly. I will follow my heart. As Basi took Ada's hand, the landscape around them began to shift and change. The shimmering expanse gave way to a dense, dark forest, the trees towering high above them, their branches forming a thick canopy that blotted out the light. The air grew colder, and a sense of foreboding settled over the area. This is the trial of truth, Ada explained, her voice steady. Here, you will face your greatest fears, your deepest regrets. You must confront them if you are to move forward. Basi nodded, steeling himself for whatever lay ahead. I am ready, he said, his voice strong. As they walked deeper into the forest, the shadows seemed to come alive, shifting and moving in the darkness. Basi felt a chill run down his spine, but he refused to let fear take hold. He had come too far to turn back now. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows. A tall, imposing figure with a face twisted in anger and pain. It was Basi, but not as he was now. This was a version of himself consumed by regret and bitterness, his eyes filled with a dark rage. You abandoned your dreams, the shadowy figure hissed, its voice dripping with venom. You gave up everything for others, and what did it get you? A life of loneliness and regret. Basi felt a pang of guilt, but he stood his ground. I did what I thought was right, he replied, his voice steady. I made sacrifices for the people I loved, but I am not defined by my past. I am here to find a new path. The shadowy figure sneered. And what makes you think you deserve it? You have failed time and time again. Basi took a deep breath, his heart pounding in his chest. Because I am willing to try, he said firmly. I am willing to face my fears, to confront my past, and to forge a new future. The shadow seemed to waver, its form flickering as if caught in a strong wind. We shall see, it whispered, before fading into the darkness. As the shadow disappeared, the darkness around them seemed to lift slightly, a faint light breaking through the canopy above. Basi felt a sense of relief, but he knew the trial was far from over. Ada squeezed his hand, her expression calm and reassuring. You did well, Basi, she said softly. But there is more to face. The journey is not yet complete. Basi nodded, his resolve strengthened. I am ready for whatever comes next, he replied. They continued deeper into the forest, the light growing brighter with each step. Basi could feel a warmth spreading through him, a feeling of hope that pushed back the darkness. As they walked, he began to hear faint whispers in the air, voices filled with love and encouragement. You are not alone, Basi, the voices seemed to say. You are loved. You are worthy. You are strong. Basi felt his heart swell with emotion. He had spent so long feeling isolated, feeling as though he had to carry the weight of the world on his shoulders. But now he realized that he was not alone. He had people who cared for him, who believed in him. The light grew brighter, and Basi felt a surge of energy. He knew that he could face whatever lay ahead, that he had the strength within him to overcome any obstacle. "Thank you," he whispered, his voice filled with gratitude. "Thank you for believing in me." The forest opened up into a clearing, and at the centre stood a large stone altar, surrounded by 4 paths that stretched out in different directions. Each path was illuminated by a different colour of light: red, blue, green, and gold. "This is the crossroads of destiny," Ada said, her voice filled with reverence. "Here, you must choose your path. Each path represents a different future, a different life. You must choose the one that aligns with your true desires." Basi felt a sense of awe as he looked at the paths before him. "How do I know which path to choose?" he asked. Ada smiled gently. "You must listen to your heart, Basi. It will guide you to the path that is meant for you." Basi closed his eyes, taking a deep breath as he listened to the beating of his heart. He thought about the life he wanted, the love he hoped to find, and the person he wanted to become. As he opened his eyes, he felt a pull towards the golden path. It seemed to glow brighter than the others, its light warm and inviting. Basi knew in his heart that this was the path he needed to take. "I choose the golden path," he said firmly, stepping toward it. Ada nodded approvingly. "Then go, Basi," she said softly. "Follow your heart and see where it leads." Basi took a step onto the golden path, feeling a surge of energy as he did. He could feel the warmth of the light enveloping him, filling him with a sense of purpose and determination. He knew he was on the right path. The golden path led Basi to a wide, flowing river. The water was clear and sparkling, reflecting the golden light of the path. Basi could see images in the water, visions of the life he could have, the love he could find, the happiness he could achieve. "This is the river of dreams," Ada explained. "It shows the possibilities that lie ahead, the dreams that can become reality if you are willing to pursue them." Basi knelt down by the river, watching the images dance across the water's surface. He saw himself standing beside Ada, their faces filled with love and joy. He saw a family, a home, a life filled with happiness and purpose. Tears filled Basi's eyes as he watched the visions unfold. "Is this real?" he asked, his voice filled with wonder. "Can this really be my future?" Ada nodded, her smile warm and reassuring. "It can be, Basi," she said, "but you must be willing to take the leap, to trust in yourself and the journey ahead." Basi took a deep breath, his heart filled with hope. "I am ready," he said softly. "I am ready to make my dreams a reality." With those words, he stepped into the river, feeling the cool water surround him. As he waded deeper, the images in the water grew clearer, more vivid. He could feel the dreams pulling him forward, urging him to keep going. And so he did, stepping forward with confidence, his heart filled with determination. As Basi reached the centre of the river, he felt a sudden resistance, a force pushing back against him, as if trying to keep him from moving forward. The water grew cold, and the images in the river began to fade. "Do not be afraid, Basi," Ada called from the shore. "This is a test of faith. You must believe in yourself, in your journey, and in the love you seek." Basi clenched his fists, his determination unwavering. "I will not give up," he shouted. "I will not let anything stand in my way." With renewed strength, he pushed forward, fighting against the resistance. The water pushed back harder, but Basi refused to be deterred. He knew what he wanted, and he was willing to fight for it. As he continued to push forward, he felt the resistance begin to weaken. The water grew warmer, and the images in the river returned, brighter and more vivid than before. "You are almost there, Basi," Ada called. "Keep going. You are stronger than you know." Basi gritted his teeth, his muscles straining as he fought against the last of the resistance. And then, with one final push, he broke through, stepping out of the river onto the golden path on the other side. He fell to his knees, gasping for breath, but his heart was filled with triumph. He had done it. He had passed the test. Basi stood up, his body tired but his spirit unbroken. He turned to see Ada smiling at him, her eyes filled with pride and admiration. "You did it, Basi," she said softly. "You have proven your strength, your determination. You are ready for whatever comes next." Basi nodded, his heart filled with a sense of accomplishment. But just as he was about to speak, a low rumble echoed through the forest. The ground beneath him began to tremble, and a dark shadow appeared on the horizon. "What is that?" Basi asked, his voice filled with concern. Ada's smile faded, replaced by a look of fear. Something is coming," she said softly. "Something dark, something powerful." Basi felt a chill run down his spine. He had faced many challenges, but this felt different, more dangerous, more ominous. "What do we do?" he asked, his voice trembling. Ada turned to him, her eyes filled with determination. "We face it, Basi," she replied. "Together." As the shadow grew closer, Basi felt a surge of fear, but also a surge of resolve. He had come too far to turn back now. Whatever was coming, he would face it head on, with Ada by his side. And so, as the darkness loomed ever closer, Basi prepared himself for the next chapter of his journey, his heart filled with determination and courage. Thank you, dear friends, for joining us on this incredible journey with Basi. What an adventure it's been so far, filled with twists, turns, and heartfelt moments that remind us all of the power of courage, love, and the search for truth. We hope you're as captivated by Basi's story as we are. What do you think will happen next? Will Basi finally find the love and life he so deeply desires? Or will new challenges test his spirit once more? We'd love to hear your thoughts, theories, and favourite moments in the comments below. Your insights and imagination are what make this journey so special. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. This way, you'll never miss a single moment of Basi's adventure or the next thrilling episode that awaits. Your support means the world to us, and we're so grateful to have you as part of this incredible community. So, stay with us, keep your hearts open, and let's continue this adventure together. Until next time, remember to dream big, face your fears, and embrace the journey of life with courage and hope. See you soon, and thank you for being a part of Basi's story.